Hello and welcome to Spinster's Library. I'm Claudia and today we are looking at some trashy, vintage Hound of the Baskerville book covers through the decades. Incidentally, if you want to make this video more fun, take a shot every time you see a deer stalker. The Hound of the Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle, in my opinion, his best Sherlock Holmes story throughout all of the novels and short stories, was published in 1902. And for over 100 years, book cover designers have not known what to do with it. If you're not familiar with what I'm doing right now, I like to look at older book covers, the trashier the better, the pulpier the better, and present them to you because I adore a ugly book cover. I really do. I treasure them and I want to share that joy with you. I've done this for several videos so far and I've compiled them in a playlist, so if you're interested in other trashy book covers, then you'll find that playlist linked in the description box. Why did I pick The Hound of the Baskervilles for this new edition of Claudia Ranks trashy book cover videos? Because of the dogs. Who doesn't like dogs? So how about we just get started? This is a cover design choice from 1939. The book cover, I'm guessing, is based on a movie. Now, I know in the comments people are going to be writing like, how do you not know this? This is a classic. I'm face blind. Even if I watch movies, I don't recognize the people in them. But who wouldn't recognize Sherlock Holmes with a deer stalker and a pipe? Now, I have previously said I don't like movie tie-in book covers, but I can make an exception for this one. The next one is a masterpiece. This edition is from 1949. It has the iconic lady in a red dress, which you'll find on all good pulpy book covers. This one's got a lady in a red dress and it's got presumably Sherlock Holmes tying her up, which definitely doesn't happen in the book. I love this one. This is genuinely one I would love to own and put on my shelf. This next cover is from 1959 and it is from Dell Editions. I love Dell Editions normally. They really know how to do a pulpy book cover, or did in the 50s and 60s, but this one is a bit lazy. Here we've got a 1964 edition by Scholastic. This one's not bad. It's got the fogginess of the marsh, it's got dog howling in the distance and a mysterious ruin in the foreground. Okay, this one I kind of adore. This one's from 1967. It's got Sherlock Holmes and a deer stalker, and Sherlock Holmes is looking at us because he doesn't know the hound is right behind him. Now that's how you create a scene. This one's got Sherlock Holmes being jumped at by a dog who looks more likely to win the derby than do any actual harm. This edition is from 1975. I like it. This is the first one other than the movie tie-in one where we actually see Dr. Watson in there. It's cool, it's arty, it's stylistic, but it's recognizably Holmes and Watson. We got the deer stalker, we got Watson's moustache, and we got the unmistakable countryside of Dartmoor in the background. No dog, but I still really like it. We enter a new decade with this cover from 1980. Once again, it's Sherlock Holmes giving us the side eye while the dog is right behind him. That's not how you catch it, is it, Sherlock? This cover from 1982 has a very good boy on it. Have you ever seen a gooder boy than this? I'm sorry, little doggy, you're not fooling anyone. He doesn't want to rip people to shreds, he just wants walkies. This is a cover from 1984. I love the gruesomeness of the scene juxtaposed with the color scheme. This is what I want. The dog looks a bit too spaniel-y to be proper frightening. However, it has clearly just killed a man, so, you know, fair enough. Ooh, moody. Now, this is from 1986, but it's giving Benedict Cumberbatch. The first cover of the 90s disappoints. It looks bad, and I think it spoilers a major plot point. Comment if you agree. The dog is ugly, but not scary. Just no. Ah, yes, we've entered the lazy era of the 90s. In every single one of these trashy book cover videos, there'll be a point around the mid-90s to mid-2000s where publishers just didn't bother. And here we see the Arthur Conan Doyle example of that. What is this? It's 1996 and Hound of the Baskervilles has just let off an enormous fart. I can smell it through the decades. This Penguin edition from 2001 is so silly. I know it's supposed to be like Sherlock Holmes shooting the dog, but it very much looks like he's shining a torch up its arse. The lazy era isn't finished yet. This is 2002 and it looks like a still from a public service announcement. Oh, this dog from 2006 is so very relatable. Look at it. It's just going, you want me to do what? Now, this cover from 2008, I think, is knockout. It's spooky but stylish. The colours look quite cool. The black and yellow, the jaunty angle of the font, little Sherlock Holmes with a gun in the corner, the dog who actually looks scary in this one, and then the mysterious house on the moors. I'm pretty sure I've got other covers from the same edition, but the other covers I don't like. So I have the Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes and His Last Bow and the Case Book of Sherlock Holmes, which I'm guessing are from the same edition. I don't care for these as much, I have to say, but I really like the Hound of the Baskervilles one. I found these in a charity shop. This is the iconic Penguin cloth-bound edition. I think it's boring. It's interesting because the motif is of moths, which if you've read the book, you know why there's moths on the cover of a book called The Hound of the Baskervilles. It's more interesting than other Penguin cloth-bound editions, I'll give it that. But you know what would have been cool? If it had been all moths and then just a single little dog. Now we get to genuinely one of my favorite publishers that I've never even bought a book from. This is the Pulp the Classics edition from 2013. Pulp the Classics, I feel like I plug them in almost every video and yet none of this is sponsored. Pulp the Classics, if you're watching this, please sponsor me. I want to advertise your products. Anyway, they do pulp covers for classic books, complete with cheesy taglines and even cheesier motifs. This one says, murder, ... mystery, ... Walkies. Iconic. And they did actually put a chihuahua on the cover. So we've reached 2013 and you know what that means. Benedict Cumberbatch is about to enter the scene. Here he is on a cover from 2013. This actually looks like a sort of self-designed ebook cover. I don't know if it is or not. I don't know what Cis Publishing is. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's him. As previously mentioned, I am face blind, but the shadow looks like it's from someone else. So is this like supposed to be like the past and the present merging beautifully into one canon of Sherlock Holmes? This 2014 edition is a Scholastic one. I like it. It's not necessarily one I would put on my own shelf, but it's very good at what it's trying to do, which is to give this mysterious, ominous idea of the Hound, for some reason, in paint splatters. Ooh, this one's a penguin one, and I like it. It's clearly inspired by those medieval paintings you see on Twitter of like cats walking giant snails or that sort of thing. It's not really very fitting with the book, but visually it's very striking. This edition is from 2021. Take a shot, there's Deerstalker. It would be less interesting if it wasn't with the colour. I think the orange colour is an interesting vibe. So far we've mostly seen greys, blues, browns. This one's orange. It stands out despite the minimalist cover design. Now this I like. This is the Oxford Classics edition from 2023. There's a Deerstalker, so if you are still conscious, take a shot. But it's clearly not Benedict Cumberbatch, I think. Actually, it looks a bit like Jimmy Carr. Well, that's off-putting. Nice coat, though. We've reached the end of the English language editions. Now we get to genuinely my favorite part of these videos, the international editions. Because when you translate an English language book into other languages, you get a glimpse into how this book is marketed there. So we start with an Arabic edition from 2008, and that is one fluffy, fluffy dog. Another Arabic edition, this one's from 2017, and this one is giving fantasy novel. You've got the Deerstalker in the pipe, drink, but you also have this weird water motif, and then almost like a portal to another world. Not sure about that. For this one, we go to Bulgaria. I think this is Benedict Cumberbatch, but As I've mentioned several times now, I am face blind. I see a tall, skinny man looking moody. I think it's Benedict Cumberbatch. It's led to some awkward situations in my day-to-day life. This Catalan edition from 1985 is so very 80s. And yes, that is a deerstalker, so apologies in advance if you do end up in hospital today. This is a Croatian edition from 1963. I love it. It's just a guy drowning in a swamp. And then the dog going, "Who'd you take me for, lassie?" That is interesting. And this is a Czech edition from 1966. It's certainly very cool looking, very goth. I like it. But not sure it's very representative of the book. In this Czech edition from 2009, Hound of the Baskervilles is for some reason chasing after the singer of Guns N' Roses while Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson look on from the corner. Here we have a French edition from 1967. I don't remember the dog being quite that big in the book. Is that a deerstalker? Is that a deerstalker? Is that a deerstalker? You know what? I think it might be. This French edition from 1994 has the Frenchest looking Sherlock Holmes I've ever seen. And look at him. Oui, Monsieur Holmes. Le chat de Baskervilles très over there. This French edition from 1999 has the Frenchest looking dog I've ever seen. This French edition from 1981 decided to replace the Hound of the Baskervilles with a bear. Now we get to German editions. I am routinely disappointed with German book cover designs, so let's see what we get today. Here we have a deerstalker, a really big deerstalker. It's bigger than the castle it's hovering above, so take a really big shot. This next German cover from 2005, fairly standard as far as covers go, but that is one gorgeous looking dog. The same cannot be said for this cover from 2007. This Italian cover from 1987 goes right back to the pulp book aesthetics, therefore I adore it. If you just looked at that, you wouldn't think it was a cover for The Hound of the Baskervilles. There's no dog, there's no deerstalker. Interesting. This Italian cover from 2005 chose a scene from what looks like London, which is also interesting because The Hound of the Baskervilles very famously not set in London. This Italian cover from 2015 decided to put a chicken on the cover instead of a dog. This Korean cover from 2015 makes the book look like it's written for 4-year-olds. Do not buy this for your 4-year-old. They will get traumatized and be afraid of dogs for the rest of their lives. Here we have a Persian cover from 2018. That's definitely Benedict Cumberbatch. This is a Polish cover from 2009 and I kind of love it. Oh, this is so bad it's good. Because you see, it's doing the little, you know, what you do, like the shadow puppet thing with the hands. And you can see the shadow of the hound in the background. Amazing. This Polish cover from 2012 is genuinely good. I feel like we haven't had many genuinely good covers in this roundup. Usually there's a few more. The designers of The Hound of the Baskervilles have truly outdone themselves in badness, but this one is stunning. Very scary, very arty. I like the little red splotches of blood and it's really, really good. This Polish cover from 2017, that's definitely Benedict Cumberbatch, right? Like, despite being green, that's his hair. Also, for any Polish speakers in my audience, what do the words say? I mean, you don't have to write all of them, but like, what are the words? I would like to know. Here's a Portuguese cover from 2001, and that's a corgi. Here we have a Romanian cover from 1990. I adore this dog's facial expression. It's not very scary though, is it? Unlike this edition from Russia, 1974, that's a scary-ass Sherlock Holmes. Don't even need the dog to be terrified here. Here we have a Sinhalese, I hope I pronounced that right, edition from 1998. Yes, please. I love the pulp motif. We've got a lady in a purple nightgown lying there very decoratively while a dog rips the man next to her to shreds, all lit by the beautiful moonlight. And for some other reason, there's another dog standing in the background. You know, the reserve Hound of the Baskervilles, the backup, the spare. Here's a Spanish edition from 2012. It's really quite boring. I'm only talking about it to get you to take another shot because I can see a deerstalker. And we finished the international roundup with a Vietnamese edition. Now, I almost always finish these videos with a Vietnamese edition because I go through the countries at the end in alphabetical order in case you hadn't noticed. And so the Vietnamese ones tend to be the very last ones we talk about, and they are always stunning. I've very rarely been disappointed with a Vietnamese edition of any classic I've talked about. This one is no exception. You've got the dog, you've got the deerstalker, so you know it's Sherlock Holmes. You also have the moths, and you have this really gorgeous color scheme of that indigo and beige. It just looks beautiful and, you know, actually works with the book. The dog looks a bit too well groomed for my liking. I think the Hound of the Baskervilles should be a bit more wild, a bit more feral. Other than that, beautiful cover. What a high note to end on. Because yes, we are finished now. Tell me in the comments what your favorite cover is, and if I missed out your favorite trashy edition, then write about it in the comments. Do not post links in the comments because YouTube likes to delete those comments right away, and so don't even get to see them. If you want to show me your edition, then tell me what publisher and what year it's from, and I can Google it and look at it. Once again, you'll find the playlist of the other trashy book cover videos in the description box. Thank you for watching. Bye!